I hate essay channels. I believe essay channels are like lower than child pornography. I believe they're like the lowest type of content you could consume. They're like lower than like child pornography or like goy cattle shows like Marvel, okay? I never understood watching them. Like, yeah, everyone has watched the essay video once in a while. Like, I watched a couple, but I just never got it. I never got like watching hours and hours of them, okay? Like, I just believe every time I watch one, it's just some random retard talking about something they probably don't even know nothing about. And the ones I especially hate are like the cartoon essayist ones. Those motherfuckers who make a 10-hour video about how Paw Patrol actually is about fascism and how fascism is evil and like all these buzzwords about politics. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a shit. And let me tell you this. I have no issue with like, essay channels who just talk about like, oh, this Pikachu actually has this deeper meaning in the show. Okay, I have no problem with that. But when I get to an issue is when you start trying to act like this TV show is actually a very, very smart piece of media. It's very smart. It's very intellectual. And I just hate majority of these motherfuckers act like they're smarter than what they actually are. They act like they're just 500 IQ motherfucker, that they know what the fuck they're talking about. They know who they are. They know everything, and they know better than you. But in the end, these motherfuckers are some of the dumbest motherfuckers you'll ever talk to. I'm not even joking. Like, I believe they're probably more retarded than an autistic person. And that's being too nice. Like, I can't even say, like, they're more dumber than Down syndrome. Okay? Like, even that's too nice. Okay? I've covered a couple of them, okay? Like, we got the Skitty Bitties. Like, I've been even looking at the Birdman drama. That shit's insane. Maybe I'll cover that soon. But I don't know much about it, so, maybe I'll cover it. But somebody that's always been in my shit list for a little while now, since I even discovered this person even existed, is somebody called Anthony Gramuglia. Yeah, we're finally gonna have a dedicated video on Anthony Gramuglia. And this guy, I made a video about him way back then, like I think a year ago by now. And that video is long gone, man, long lost now after the channel got raped. But pretty much, I just shat on the guy. I hated this guy. And let me be honest with you guys. When I saw him for the first time during the entire Saber Spark shit show, I thought he was funny. I thought like, he was destroying KP, destroying all her points. And I thought I was like, oh, that's righteous. Do it. Do more of that. But over time, I realized how much of a piece of shit this guy is and how much of a fucking perk he is. Because like, I would see this guy constantly talk about every single video of somebody shitting on him, and he'll constantly do this gay shit where like, he would pretty much say like, bro, my response video to your video has more views. I technically ratioed you on YouTube. Okay, but did you say anything good in the video you made? Like, what's more important is not just the views, is what the message provides, okay? And if you didn't respond anything that the other video was pretty much calling you out for, you did not make a good video. But this guy constantly does this shit, and he just looks like a complete fucking spurg. And because of me seeing this shit constantly, I already knew this guy was gonna become, a fucking lolcow probably at this point. Like, I believe he's gonna go full that mode. I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing the cracks. I'm starting to see the fucking cracks. Like, I'm gonna tell you this. And people will probably be delusional. People will probably be like, no, Mr. Zombie, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know anything about Anthony Gramuglia. No, I already see it. But the reason why we're talking about him in particular, why he's the main attraction of the video, it's because he decided to have an absolute meltdown. I believe it's like meltdown crash out what he had about what side scribbles in Lyle Pondboy said about him. And we could just start talking about the tweets, reading them and all that, but we have to at least understand what like Lyle Convoy and Cy Scribbles are saying. And what they decided to call him out for is for a video he did like 2 years ago about fan service. And to give you a summarization of this video, it's pretty much a man pretending that he knows what the word fan service is, while clearly the motherfucker doesn't know what it is actually, or doesn't even use it correctly. And also, the video kind of makes him look like he saw so much porn in the 80s or like in the 90s, to the point he's desensitized to the fan service we have now. Okay, that's what it fucking seems to me, but that is actually not the important part of the video. What actually got people to, people like Cy Scribbles, that bum, and Lyle Convoy, the king, to call him out, is because of this particular part of the video where he talks about a hentai that sadly I actually know about. Okay, so let's put that clip right now and let's discuss about what he's just saying or what he's trying to defend.
While there seem to be more fan service content nowadays, all of it feels unremarkably tame compared to what we saw back in the 80s and 90s. And that's really underwhelming because you would think these stories would build on what came before, not regress. While these stories were exploitative, they told stories beyond the fan service, and often the fan service could be downright unpleasant. But now, it's relatively safe. It's not shocking. It's not controversial. You rarely see anything too extreme or mature, unless it's hentai. And I don't feel like making an video essay about Metamorphosis today. But Metamorphosis is kind of what I want to see more in fan service. Really shocking, really upsetting, unpleasant, disturbing, but meaningful. I'd rather be upset with a piece of art than feel nothing after finishing it.
It's kind of crazy. At the end of that clip, he pretty much describes a post-nut clarity after when you jack off and then you feel like shit afterward. He just explained that shit. But like, out of everything you defend in that video, you talk about fan service and this and that, how you want it darker, how you want it more extreme. Like, what the fuck does he want? You decided to use 177, or Metamorphosis, a lot of fucking retards like to call it. I call it 177, as an example of that. That is not fan service. That's just porn. Okay? Like, what the fuck? And like, there are probably some people out there that probably don't even know what it is. And thank God you don't know what the fuck it is. But let me explain to you what 177 is. And what it pretty much is, right? It's a hentai about this high schooler girl turning pretty for no reason or some shit like that. I don't remember. It's been such a long time. And then like, she gets drugged, gets raped by her father, so incest, and then she gets killed in the end of the fucking hentai. That's what this motherfucker's defending. He's defending that shit. And don't forget, like I said, this character is a high schooler, so she's a minor, and we get very explicit scenes of the sex. Yeah. Anthony, why the fuck are you defending this shit? This shit is not the type of thing you want to say is a good thing. And I know there's gonna be motherfuckers going to the comments of this fucking video saying, oh bro, but like the creator said that like, that it's based on his experience when he saw like Japanese women doing the same shit. But it's like, so you're pretty much telling me that he saw Japanese like high schoolers doing the exact same shit as this character? So he decided to use that to make a hentai for men to jack off to. Yeah. I feel the respect of fucking sexual assault victims. Yeah, I can feel it there. It's totally a respectful thing to do. Yeah, like you grab or see cases of like rape victims. You grab that shit and then turn it into a porno. Yeah, totally a good defense. But that's what's important about the video, okay? Like there's a lot more retarded shit like, even in the clip I showed you, what he's trying to describe is not like fan service. Like fan service, like I said, it's like a scene or a moment pretty much meant for the fans' enjoyment, like, a titty shot, an ass shot, or even a very well done fight scene. That's what pretty much fan service is, and what Anthony Gramuglia was describing in that video is not fan service. He just wanted more dark storytelling. But that is the context we need to know just to even understand this drama that Anthony Gramuglia is right now in. That I'm gonna tell you this. The copes will be insane with this guy, okay? Don't worry. It is going to be crazy, but where to even start with this entire thing here? Well, let's start to Anthony Gramuglia reacting to the Cy Scribbles tweet, pretty much calling him out for defending 177. Being sent this a few times. Cy, the quote is arguing we need more challenging media that disturbs instead of trivializing violence or fetishizing trauma. Bro, what the fuck, man? So, okay, this is just bullshit then. Okay, so you're saying that we need to love challenging media instead of trying to fetishize it. What the fuck were you defending? You're defending 177, a literal hentai that's pretty much fetishizing rape and incest in one book. What are you saying? Because if you really believe that, you will be against 177, even if you guys will constantly use that one article because, oh, the creator said he took this from experience. But then, like, if you start thinking about it, he's, like I said again, he's using people's experiences with this type of shit for a hentai meant for grown men to jack off to. Okay? There is no excuse for this shit. And I don't get why is he trying to say this, saying like, oh, I hate fetishizing traumas or trivializing violence, while the thing he's defending is everything he hates. God damn, how dumb is this motherfucker? You do realize that just this month, I also recommended I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left in a vid, right? I don't want to know what this guy really loves. If this guy says this is not the first time he's done this, I don't even want to know what I Spit on Your Grave even is fucking about, okay? I don't want to know. I don't even want to think what it could be about, because this guy loves incest, pedophilia, rape. Maybe this is just the exact same stuff. But don't worry, he continues over here. It's absurd how folks here, hey, dark media can be really good and cathartic to experience for survivors of trauma and just go whatever it is you want to say. Bro, this is not like, literally trying to be respectful to rape victims. This is literally using those people's experiences for a fucking hentai that is meant to fetishize that shit for grown men in Japan to jack off to that shit. Because if it was being respectful to that type of stuff, it would not have fully drawn sex scenes in it with her having sex with her father and her being drugged and having sex with her boyfriend. That wouldn't be there. This hentai is not that very deep meaning type of media. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's just something meant for people to jack off. It's just that simple. And that's why it's ridiculous that you say you're against this type of stuff while you're defending it right now. But don't worry, after this, he defends himself even more. And over here you see Anthony Gramuglia over here saying, gotta say, always strange seeing someone tell a survivor of sexual assault how to read stories about the topics they experienced firsthand, to accuse them of endorsing the very trauma that reshaped their lives. What's up with all these media critics, or mostly like lefty type of guys, love using their traumas to justify their shitty behavior or justify themselves defending some pretty weird shit, okay? Like, yeah, if that is true that you were sexually assaulted as a child or as an adult, I don't know. Yeah, I feel bad for that shit, but that doesn't mean it justifies you defending a manga or a hentai that exploits victims of that said sexual assault that you also experienced. That doesn't mean shit. And there's so many cases of these motherfuckers justifying that shit, saying that I'm a sexual assault, I'm being raped as a child, and then they do pretty shitty actions. Like, look at what Courtney Pete did. She said that she's a victim of sexual assault, then decides to tell a kid to tell their bully that they have such a small dick that they won't be able to tit fuck them or some shit like that. Then we got the skitty bitty drama where she pretty much decided to teach kids how to buy credit cards behind their parents' backs to give her money. And then she justifies that shit by saying, I'm raped. Okay, that doesn't mean shit. Okay? That actually doesn't mean shit. Will we feel bad for you? Yes. But it doesn't mean that you get to get away with all the shit you're doing, or no one should criticize you. People should still be able to criticize you, even if you were a survivor of sexual assault, Anthony Gramuglia. It's amazing how many longtime fans make accounts seconds before engaging with a topic, focus entirely on something a video with currently under 5,000 views said criticizing me, almost as if it's a scheme to get more people to watch said video by being annoying. What a fucking cope! What a cope! That's just insane. So, what Anthony Gramuglia just said over here is that, okay, these people who are criticizing him are actually having a scheme that they're gonna, first of all, make multiple new accounts to start being annoying to Anthony Gramuglia, so Anthony Gramuglia reacts to this very small channel that had a video talking shit about him that has under 5,000 views. That's what this motherfucker is saying. So, I don't get why Anthony Gramuglia believes this, that every single person who criticizes him are there for his attention. They want his views. They want his clout. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, Anthony Gramuglia? You're not that guy. You're not the big guy that everybody just wants to go after him because everybody wants attention off of him. Maybe if there are a lot of people going after you, if there are a lot of people who are criticizing you, maybe there's something valid in that criticism. Maybe you are a piece of shit, and this is just a fictional scenario that you created to cope with the fact you're probably not the perfect person or the person you're claiming to be. Okay, so this is just desperate over here. But don't worry. There's another tweet he does over here to double down on him defending the pedophile, incest, rape, manga, or hentai. And you see over here Anthony Gramuglia says, if that group reacts this negatively to my take on Metamorphosis, I can't wait until you see my thoughts on martyrs. It's like, I don't know what is he trying to say about martyrs? Is he talking about like the actual word martyr? Or there's a hentai out there called Martyrs that's also about pedophilia, rape, and incest. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I don't know what this martyr thing is. Maybe I'm not that fucking goon brain like this motherfucker. But if he has the same opinion on whatever that thing is, I just don't want to know what it is, okay? So let's just continue here, and you see he continues to double down, and you see here he says, I feel like a lot of people regularly forget that I regularly cover dark extreme media. Like, I have vids about Spider-Man. Okay. Bro, I never knew Spider-Man had pedophilia, rape, incest in it. Like, I never knew that. Yeah, the dark media of Spider-Man, of Spidey boy. And I'm not gonna deny, there probably are dark stories that I'm just not aware of. I just don't know much about it. Okay, I'm not a Marvel cuck. I'm more of a DC boy myself. I love DC, the DC chud race, okay? Not the Marvel gay homo race like Anthony Gramuglia. Maybe there is, okay? Maybe just not aware of it. But this, for someone like me, just looks pretty pathetic talking about like, because you're talking about like, I cover a lot of dark, extreme media, and you expect like, oh, probably some dark stories, and then he just says, it's Spider-Man. Like, are you really serious? Well, let's continue. And movies that exploit the murder of Junko Furuta. Okay, there is a massive difference of covering an actual real rape case that's pretty fucking horrific than defending a hentai that exploits the experiences of actual rape victims. That's something you guys claim. There's a massive difference between the two, because with one, it's an actual documentary and it's not a porno. The other one is a porno, literally describing and showing how the rape and the incest happened. Like, these two are not the same thing. And if you think they are, it kind of shows how much of a fucked up brain you have. Okay, but no more. Like, we'll continue. My channel is anchored in serious subjects. Yeah, the serious subjects of Spider-Man. Why anyone is shocked I discuss disturbing media is anyone's guess. Well, I don't know. I don't think people are just shocked because you cover dark stuff. No, people are kind of fucking weirded out because you're defending a literal hentai that exploits the experiences of rape victims, okay? Like, this is the exact same argument when people that say really fucked up jokes about children pretty much just say like, oh man, you're just mad because I'm edgy. No, I think we're mad because you're saying some pretty fucked up shit. And I know if it was a Critical Drinker, if it was a Yellow Flash, and they proceed to defend like a movie like Cuties or any other movie that exploits the actual experiences of victims to make it into pornography, I know Anthony Gramuglia will go after them no matter fucking what and shit on them and pretty much attempt to label them as pedophiles. But even worse than how I'm trying to criticize this motherfucker, and I'm someone who hates this motherfucker. I don't think he's a pedophile, I think he's a retard. I know that's gonna fucking happen. But for some reason, when it's him, it's completely different. It's actually a very, like, defending Metamorphosis is actually like defending the experiences of rape victims. And I don't know, I don't know what's up with all these fucking media critics always thinking that they're above everything. They're always the ones that cannot be criticized, you cannot shit on them, they're actually always in the right. Like, Birdman did it, Anthony Gramuglia did it, and Skitty Bitty did it. I don't understand this shit. But don't worry. After all this blue sky meltdown went down, people started catching up to it. And one of those individuals is the king himself. The king of kings. Lyle Convoy. I know there are a lot of people that will say to me like, oh, why are you defending Lyle Convoy? Why do you have a very positive view of him? Well, I believe he's just autistic and he regrets everything he has done because people were manipulating him into doing those very shitty things. And it's very evident that if you see him now, he has regretted those things. But you don't have to like him. But Lyle Convoy saw this entire thing go down and decided to make a stream shitting on Anthony Gramuglia. And let me tell you this. If you are Anthony Gramuglia and you see Lyle Convoy as like the lowest bum of society, he's low, he's a piece of shit, he has all these past controversies, and this guy is shitting on you, what do? You would just ignore him. you would just not give him attention. But Anthony Gramuglia is not that type of guy. Because anybody who shits on him, he has to respond to them, especially to his enemies. And he decides to respond to Lyle Convoy without actually watching the stream. And you see over here, Anthony Gramuglia says, I was sent this stream. Okay. Anthony, stop with this bullshit trying to pretend that, oh yeah, I'm not paying attention to my drama. Like, it's very obvious that you do, and that you're using this thing saying that, like, oh, I was just sent to this shit. I was always sent this stuff as a cope because you don't want to look terminally in line, okay? So stop this annoying shit. I don't have any meaningful comeback here that I couldn't say faster than I can Google Lyle Convoy controversies. Yeah, Anthony Gramuglia, you showed him by literally trying to relitigate a bunch of his old drama to own this guy, even if he regrets all this shit. But you owned him, Anthony. You totally owned that man over there. You totally owned the lion. You totally hunted him down in the safari and decided to illegally hunt him. Yeah, you got him there. You got him good. You got him really good, Anthony. Like, bro, this is just pathetic, okay? Like, if you're just gonna say nothing, just don't say it. Like, this just seems like a very desperate way to pretty much deflect all criticism that he was saying, because he has some pretty valid ones, pretty much the things I've been saying, but they're pretty valid. So respond to that shit. But he's not, because he knows if he tries to respond to this shit and defend himself, he's gonna look like an actual maniac. He's gonna look like a piece of shit. But after that, he starts arguing with Lyle Convoy, still saying like, oh, you're past controversy. What about the time you doxed this one person? He regrets that, and tries to pretty much shit on and bury A-Space, and like, this is all just pathetic bullshit and just very, very bitch-coded. But so let's just ignore all that shit, and let's get to the most pathetic thing Anthony Gramuglia has done yet. Y'all, block Side Scribble and Space Frog. Okay, if you're totally winning in a situation, you wouldn't go to your audience and beg for them to block Side Scribbles and Space Frog. I don't know who the fuck Space Frog is. Okay, I don't know who that individual is at all. But from what Anthony Gramuglia is telling me, this person's probably fucking based. But I don't know, it's just really funny to me that this motherfucker that's claiming to be better than Side Scribbles, and Side Scribbles is beneath him, is begging his audience to block her. It's like, please, Tens, please block Side Scribbles. She has been sodomizing me. Like, bro, are you really that serious? I keep seeing them respond to people in my post. Just block them both. They're annoying, yeah. It shows how dented his audience is that he's literally teaching them how to ignore stuff. Yeah. The smartest people watch Anthony Gramuglia. I have both basically blocked for about a year. They're still bugging anyone in my mentions because they lack hobbies like you when you're constantly engaging in this drama and trying to own everybody. Don't engage, just block. It's gonna piss them off more. Well, it looks like that them doing this shit actually pisses you off a lot because you're constantly responding to this shit and begging your audience to block these individuals. But don't worry, we get to more cope. Like, this motherfucker has to constantly cope to make himself look like the good guy. And you could see over here, he says, I have been told to take accountability for other people's shit for too damn long. Well, I would have felt bad if you didn't want to involve yourself in any of the dramas you decide to involve yourself in at all. I would have felt bad for that. But no, you actively and constantly involve yourself in shit that you have nothing to do with. That pretty much would have made you look better if you ignored it. But no, you involve yourself in it because you want to own the people who shit on you, own people like Harmful Opinions or even EFAP, and then you make a massive fool of yourself. And even in the skitty bitty drama that you involved yourself in, you got shat on so hard for that type of shit that you had to literally start saying like, I don't want to talk about it now. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so stop lying, saying that you don't want to, take accountability for the shit of other people if you're constantly involving yourself in that person's shit. Okay? So stop with that shit. I have a better idea. How about I keep doing everything I have been doing and continue growing while Lyle matches the donations I have made to Raid. At the present, it's close to 7K. Yeah, is it the money that you actually sent? Or is it the money that your fans gave you to send? Okay, like, you can't really say shit if your fans raise that money to be sent to Rain. Okay, so you can't really say anything. Okay, and also I just don't understand his defense now. Like, he thinks he's a good person because he donates to charity. Like, Should we say Jimmy Savile is a good person because he also donated to charity? Should we say P. Diddy or R. Kelly are good individuals because they donated to charity? Like, this doesn't mean you're absolved from all criticism. And don't worry, he continues the same quote by saying over here, I encourage all my haters to run charity live streams to donate to RAIN. If you genuinely are that offended, I discussed a work of fiction about assault, use the opportunity to donate to a case fighting the source of that issue. I will even promote it for you. I just like this guy acts like because he donated once to charity, he's a better person and a better human being. And for me, if you really are a good person that donates to charity, you wouldn't announce it at all. You would do it in secret. But this guy needs to inflate his ego even more, so he has to mention that he donates to charity. He's a good person. And also he's again minimizing what he's defending. I like now he says it's a piece of fiction that talks about sexual assault, even if it's actually a hentai that exploits it for grown men in Japan to masturbate to it. Yeah, you're totally a good person defending that. But now let's get to the last Anthony Gramuglia Blue Sky post. Okay, so let's read it. I think I figured out why the recent wave of folks coming after me is so boring. These people are taking internet beef too seriously and forgetting to make it interesting. Like, bro, what type of cope is this? So now you're saying that you don't want to respond to this. It's because it's too boring to you. It doesn't seem like it's boring if you're defending a literal hentai that was made to exploit the experiences of rape victims. So grown men in Japan would masturbate to it. Yeah, that's totally boring, dude. That's a totally boring topic, man. We are content creators. Why are you all so selfishly focusing your beefs on your audience without making it fun? You do the exact same shit, okay? Like, you will insert yourself in dramas that you have nothing to do with for no reason and make posts about it to your audience that don't even care about it. You do the exact same shit. I think this is just self-projection on his end because everything he says here, he's guilty of it. Like, I don't make a response video unless I can think of a way to make it entertaining. So pretty much admitting that you're a talentless hack that cannot make a drama about about you defending a hentai book that's pretty much about incest, pedophilia, and rape entertaining at all. Yeah, admitting too talentless to own the haters. Yeah, I see the own there. My biggest difficulty is figuring out an interesting way to present beef, which is why I ignore most beef. It just gets boring. Yeah, he wants the media literacy of beef now. Like, we need like dark and like really crude beef now. We need like the most harshest beef out there. We need the extreme ones. Like, what the fuck are you saying? This is all just cope. It's all cope and self-projecting because he has done all this shit. He's already done it multiple times. But now we have reached to the end of the video. And what is the conclusion to this shit? Well, Anthony Gramuglia is the type of guy that he believes he's smarter than he actually is because he's just a full-blown retarded spurg like the rest of us. And if he just admitted to that shit and say, you know what, I'm just a fucking retard, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'll just take this L, nobody would care. But because this guy constantly acts like he's better than everybody else, how he's smart and he actually understands the media literacy of a hentai book that's about pedophilia, rape, and incest, meant for grown men to masturbate in Japan, he thinks he's smart because he knows the media literacy of that book. He's a really smart individual, but he's not. He's just a dumbass. But he's starting to see the cracks I'm talking about in the beginning of this video about this guy being a lolcow soon. I believe that's going to happen because he constantly responds to every single thing, even after people just start talking to him. He still talks about it, and I bet right now in Blue Sky, he's probably still talking about it. He cannot have his mind off of this shit. It is rent-free. We all know that. Like, for example, a great example of this shit, every single time Harmful Opinions involves himself in a drama or exposes somebody that's one of his friends that pretty much is doing a shitty action, he immediately comes in and remembers instantly about the 4 videos that guy has done about him. He knows. And I just hate it when this guy pretends he's not that much of a spurg by trying to say, people send me this, people send me that. No, you stumbled across it because all these screenshots that you provide are like 40 seconds in or like 25 minutes since it was posted. Okay? You find this yourself. Stop coping. Just admit to it. Okay, so that's my take on Anthony Gramuglia, and also that I hate all these essayists. I don't get why they always think that they're above everybody else, that they cannot be criticized, they're actually perfect human beings. I don't understand that. Okay, so fuck all these people. Fuck the Anthony Gramuglias, fuck the Birdmans, and fuck the Skitty Bitties. Okay, fuck all these people. They all should be fucking criticized to fucking hell. But after that, I hope all of you guys follow the Twitter account, okay? Follow over here. There's a screenshot here, okay? You could find me on Twitter, follow me there. Also leave a like. Also subscribe. Okay, you could subscribe to the Shami Army. We need to recover what YouTube took away from us. Okay, we need to get to 100, 200, 3,000, 3 billion subs. Okay, we need to get to big numbers. And also leave a comment, say whatever the fuck you want. You could say, fuck you, you mushmouth piece of shit. Anthony Gramuglia knows what he's saying, and you don't understand the media literacy of everything. Or you could say Anthony Gramuglia is just a pretentious berg that's actually really fucking retarded. Say whatever the fuck you want, I don't care. But after that, I hope all of you guys have a really great August, a really great summer, and a really great day. And goodbye.